worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time. Season 2.
And welcome you to episode 2 of the worst idea of all time. My name is Tim Batt.
My name is Guy Montgomery. It's great to be here, Tim. How are you?
I'm sleepy, man. I'm real tired. It's quite late, and this movie is pretty long.
It is, by anyone's standards.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the average length of a movie? Probably 90 minutes?
Yeah.
That's what
That's your classic
I think
popcorn
of.
film length, duration.
They've got a whole 50 minutes worth of inflation to pump into this bloody coronary.
I could make some positive suggestions, some constructive criticism on where they could have made a few little light edits along the way.
Yeah?
Yeah, like every second thing that Carrie says is redundant. There's a lot of questions that get answered by herself that, would be fine to be
They lost
left.
confidence in the storytelling part of the process and just wrote in the narrative.
I think it's very explicit.
Not even in the voiceover either, just in action. Like after a moment happens. Carrie's like, I remember once I was with my friend in Blenheim, which is a small town in New Zealand, and we went and we drove some cars in a paddock. We did donuts and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But we drove separate cars because we were on restricted licenses and we weren't that idiotic.
Yeah.
Anyway, on the way out, he hit this little patch of gravel and the car flipped. And I was too
Jesus.
far behind him to see, so I came around the corner and drove around, and there was just a car completely upside down, and my friend's standing on top of it. And I got out of the car and I walked up to him and I was like, "Is that your car?" Which is essentially the sort of level of redundancy that Carrie lends to. It's like, of course that's his car.
Wait, so what did you do? What kind of car was it, first off? I'm
It
trying to
was-
get this in my head, like a kind of mental
It was
picture.
it was a truck. It was like a Land Cruiser,
Yeah.
and the whole passenger side got completely crushed.
Wow.
Had I been in it, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Wow, man, that's a fucking trip.
And and the craziest thing is, it's because we were going to work together in Blenheim, and we were both on our restricted license, which means you can't drive with passengers. And we were like, "Oh, it'll be sweet. We'll just take one car." And then our parents were like, "No, you're going to take 2 cars."
Stephen and Mary Ann,
Yep, sure.
well done to you two.
Wherever you are, Mary Ann, we really appreciate what you're doing.
Swinging a miss from
You're
old Timbo.
a switched on lady. No, Mary Ann has revolutionised. Mary Ann, I think, was the creator of the Dewey Decimal System, so she's revolutionised the way we keep and borrow books.
Yeah, Mary Ann did that. Not the one I'm thinking of.
I'm saying amen, Mary Ann. Mary Ann, as if it's amen.
Hey, Mary Ann, what's your game now? Can I play? I've forgotten the tune to that.
Hey,
And the words.
Canty baby, I play with numbers. I do like books. That's how the second verse goes.
Is it? Do you know how I really don't like in this movie, I've decided?
Who did you say, we or you?
Me. I would never be so presumptuous to speak for you on your behalf.
And that's why I love you.
You.
Get me. You get me.
So it's the Danish architect,
You don't
whose
like
name I still don't know.
Danish architect. Lawrence of Arabia, as Samantha throws away, or Lawrence of My Labia.
Yeah.
It's like an old recycled joke that they put in there just in case any of their fans haven't heard that joke somewhere else before and think it's original and actually
I
must
hadn't.
have. Hadn't you?
Yeah.
It's in Friends. It's
Is
a joke
it?
about Phoebe's twin sister, Ursula. She's in Lawrence of Arabia. It's like they have
Oh,
3
that's right, 'cause there's all
parody
the-
porn name jokes.
Yeah. Didn't she do... There's also like a Buffy one that she...
Buffy the
Buffy,
Vampire Layer.
you are good.
I used to watch a lot of Friends.
What was this? Do you know what the other one was out of the 3?
No,
I'm
now there's
testing
your
you.
trivia question.
Yeah, there's your bloody pub quiz question right there. Fuck. I don't know about this movie, bro. Because when we got to about, I think about an hour 40 or so, I was like, "Oh, cool, the movie's ending." And you were like, "Nope." And then I checked the timer, and
that's the thing, is it comes
Wee.
out. Since it's so long, it comes out like you can, especially at the moment, we're fucking clipping through the opening hour and a half of this film. Like
big time, bro.
it's really coming at pace. It's happening fast. It's whizzing past your eyeballs, and then it's just any movie that is this long, even if it's a phenomenal movie, you will feel that like sag
Okay,
and that
all
lag.
right. So here's a good question. have you seen a movie that's over 2.5 hours long that you can just happily fucking sit in there, soak it in, drink it up, get it in your eyeballs and your other sensory orifici?
The movie that comes to mind right now is the most recent long movie I went to in the cinema was, I've been to that many movies recently, but was Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh yeah, that was long.
That whips along.
It's got a pretty cracking pace. Yeah, okay. Good shit.
Mm.
Good hustle.
Thanks.
Yeah.
What did you enjoy? Who did you enjoy?
I'm really gravitating towards Samantha.
Yeah.
I'm a real Samantha.
You're playing this card. You're really going for that Samantha line early.
Yeah. Big fan. It was funny because you looked at me and you were like, I can't remember your exact words. You were like, isn't Miranda great? And I hate Miranda so much. I fucking hate her. I hate her stupid face.
I don't think my exact words were, isn't Miranda great?
It was words to those effects.
No. Yeah.
It was pretty close.
I was enjoying her. Enjoying her angles, enjoying her story. More than the others. It's all relative.
Yeah. Well, I genuinely like Samantha. I think she's cool and a great role model for the over 50 ladies who still like to party.
Yeah.
Don't let being over 50 slow you down, ladies. You can still party with the best of them. And you shall. Row. Hey, who was the guy we noticed at the wedding who just kept popping up? We were like...
Pink blazer.
Pink blazer, bro. How about that? Fucking dynamo of acting in the background of scenes.
A real tour de force.
He's a
got a good agent because he was in there were 3 different angles of shots during the ceremony at the wedding, and he was in all of them with varying degrees of focus.
He was like product placement himself.
He was the product. That's acting.
Oh.
That's Hollywood, baby.
My favorite.
You got to sell yourself.
My favorite bit of the movie, and it doesn't reference something that's good in the movie, but just cracked me up, is when we went to Big's office after Carrie announces that she's cheated on him, and it's revealed that he works on Wall Street, like in a really high up building, so he's obviously important. He's got 4 screens on the wall, which is displaying what looks to me to be market information. It's finances. It's it's stocks going up and down. It's numbers on there.
He's looking at numbers.
Yet, on his desk there is no computer whatsoever. So his job is just to emotionally react to what the market's doing. He gets home in one of the days that exists in the movie, and he says to Carrie's like, "How was your day?" He's like, "Oh, the market fell 100 points." Like, yeah, but you just absorb it. You just look at that happen.
There's a very wealthy man in New York who's hired Big, specifically
just to look at the numbers,
to ride the emotional roller coaster without any skin in the game.
Fuck, imagine, it's some transhumanist shit right there, bro. Like the guy who's real rich invests heaps of money in the market, but he's found a way to offload all the emotional baggage to someone else, so he just becomes the perfect trader. So the emotion doesn't cloud his judgment.
Yeah. He's a shark out there.
But how would you...
Mr. Big is carrying a lot.
Emotions are just chemicals, right? So if he's found some way to take out the chemicals from his brain, but they've got to go somewhere for some reason, so they have to supplant them into Big's brain.
He throws them up as bile. And he puts them into coffee pods, and he sells those coffee pods to the exact type of machine that Mr. Big uses, which is featured quite prominently in the apartment. So he's drinking the bile,
which is the emotional
of his employer, which
ups and downs of the
emotional
market
journey of his investments.
Do you reckon this is how the crash happened? Because all these bigwigs got too separated from their feelings, and they got hyper logical, and so everything fell apart. Because you need to retain a bit of what makes you human, or else we have stock market crashes. You've got to keep some of those feelings in you and out of the bile.
You've stumbled into something massive.
This is how it happens, folks. This is how the market falls down and we all get fucked up.
Do you know what I'm struggling with about this movie? Is it's so long. I mean, I think of things to talk about during the film, and then by the time it's over, I don't have the energy or excitement. It's just there's no way. I'm just fatigued.
Yeah.
It's like, if I go for a run, and when I'm running, I'm like, I'll do this and this and that. I'm going to become the best version of myself possible. And then I arrive home and I'm exhausted, and I'm like, what a crazy time that was when I was thinking all those things. Now I just don't want to do anything.
But running's good for you. This isn't. This is like eating a bucket of
mental,
KFC.
It's mental exercise.
It's mental KFC. It's like eating a bucket of KFC and being like, I'm going to sleep now. You know, that's what this does. It reminds me of swimming in a current, and the current's not, it's like a rip, like a really low level rip, and you're using all of your energy just to stay above the water for the whole thing. And the thing is with us as well, we've set such stringent rules on this fucking thing. So we can't go on our phones. We can't go on email or Twitter or Facebook or anything cool like that.
No, you've got to sit in that feeling.
All we have is each other in the movie.
You called this movie a spa pool last week. You've got to sit in the spa week after week.
Based on the fact that you can get horrible diseases from a spa pool. That was why it was like one.
No,
and also because it can boil you alive.
Yeah, but I think up top, when you said spa, you were like, this is luxury.
Hey, also the movie I couldn't name last week is Lost Boys. It's Corey Feldman.
I do not care.
Yeah, I didn't think you would.
It's of no use or interest to me.
I just figured some people might, later down the track, they might binge listen to this season like a few people did with the last season. And yeah, I've addressed it.
You're a plucky young upstart bat.
And
I wish you nothing but the best.
What would be a fun location for these gals to have gone instead of Abu Dhabi?
Boston.
What would the impetus be for our Sex and the City friends, our gal pals, to go to Boston?
They're trying to start a vintage store / coffee shop.
Like clothing?
Yeah, they're trying to revolutionize the docks. So they have docks in Boston. You know, down at the docks?
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole movie is about the girls trying to what's it called? God, my brain's gone to mush. This movie is not good for you. You're right.
Like revitalize.
Gentrify. They're trying to gentrify the docks with coffee shops and vintage stores, and they buy up a whole lot of property, and all they launch is next to each other: a coffee shop, then a vintage store, then a coffee shop, then a vintage store.
Who was the guy who most recently played Batman, or is about to play Batman? Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
He should be in this movie.
He is in this movie.
No, he's neither in your imaginary one so far, nor is he in this one we just watched.
Don't tell me who is or isn't in my imaginary movie. It hasn't been made
You haven't
yet.
said that.
Name someone.
Leonardo
They're in the movie. Yeah, that's how my imaginary movie works.
Sarah Jessica Parker? I guess she has to be.
Yeah, she does.
What about Sally Jesse
She's
Raphael?
expensive too. I tell you what, Sarah Jessica Parker is finished with these movies. She does not want to be in my Boston movie.
You need to tell me right now if
Sally Jesse Raphael.
Yes, is in this Boston.
No, I don't know who that is.
We're calling it Boston Nightmare. Sally Jesse Raphael. I don't even know how that's in my brain because it's not a name I've heard mentioned for many years. But she was a talk show host, kind of in the Ricky Lake era of talk show hosts, or talk shows rather. And she was an older woman, like from memory, she was about sort of mid-50s. I don't know what her fucking deal was, but she had like that kind of blue rinse hair, you know, that kind of old woman hair, and she had these big thick glasses. Where'd she go? You know, like is she still around?
She's probably super chill, kicking it in Jacksonville, Florida, feet up, holding a mojito, smoking a cigar, watching
Crocodile Dundee 2.
There you go.
Am I right? When he goes to New York?
Wherever he goes, that's what she's watching.
Do you know it's International Women's Day when we started watching the movie and then we crossed over into a day that isn't
It wasn't
that day
in New
anymore?
Zealand. It had already passed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was today. Was it yesterday?
No, well, it's on the 8th of March. And it's the 10th of March now. It was the 9th of March when we started watching the movie.
Oh, God. We lost an entire day and a half for this movie. I'm so baffled by that.
It's like flying back from
Los Angeles.
From Los Angeles, California.
It bugs me that there's stuff in this movie that just they throw a little seed out and it never turns into a plant.
Yeah, well, they're scattering seeds. We're familiar with this.
The whole fact that you never see Samantha's ex-boyfriend, who's the actor again, like that feels important to me. It feels like we needed to see him again, you know? And we had ample opportunity. There was a lot of movie after we last saw him.
Yeah. He But this movie is not. It's not there to.
It's not following the rules.
It's not there to follow the rules. It's a rogue, and that guy served as device. He had to introduce the fact that Abu Dhabi existed to these 4 gals who used to life in New York City.
Like paint a picture of where your head's at right now to me. I really want to get a bit of a photograph of where you're at.
I'm just trying to wring any positive energy out of your body and mind right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like hold you like a flannel.
Yeah.
And just rinse you over the sink and just get all of the things that you like about the movie out of you. Because I need you.
Yeah.
And I think you need me. And the thing is...
Are you quite scared right now?
Yes.
Yeah, same, dude. Yeah. It's fucking scary.
You can't look at it in those terms. You got to take it on a case-by-case basis.
Just live every moment. We don't even have that anymore. We can't even grab hold of that, you know?
Well, it's forever embossed on your leg.
Oh yeah, I did get that one, didn't I? Yeah. If you told me to write out the Latin words that are on my tattoo, I couldn't do it. I don't know the letters.
You don't need to. You've always got the reference.
Yeah,
it would be a waste of your brain space if you. That's what I think about tattoos. You should never have to remember what's tattooed on your body because you've always got it there as something to check against.
Memento, bitch.
It's like with exams, right? You have to learn all of this information. Like, I understand how the concept was created and how it held for so long, but now it's like you're never away from like anything.
It is an outdated model.
So
I'm with you on
it's
that.
like, what is it doing?
Yeah, it's like previously you did have to memorize shit because, you know, books were hard to
I don't know. Do you know?
Get all the different ones at once.
Yeah.
But now we have all the different ones at once. It's called Google.
I don't know how they're convincing anyone in schools that they need to learn maths. Like, I understand people who like it, but if you're not interested in maths, it's like, how can you be like, no, you need this? It's like, no, teacher, look at what I'm holding. It's 6 calculators. I'm holding 6 different calculators. It's just crazy.
Maths I can get down with because, you know, or with any subject really, I'm a big fan of get like a good base knowledge of your shit. But when you start getting into
Trigonometry.
Trig and stats and all that kind of bullshit. I still would have taken it though, like voluntarily. I think even at the time when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But I guess that's because I'm kind of interested in science and things, you know? Would you have, do you think?
No. I never got down with it. Science and maths, way beyond me.
I'm bad at them.
All of it. No, I don't
Rest
think you
assured.
are. All of it, I'm just like, look, I understand it's happening. I understand there's a bunch of people who are really into learning about it, learning all about it right now.
Yeah.
That's enough for me.
Yeah, someone else has got this one.
That's someone else's battle.
I'm gonna catch up on some Dudley Moore back catalogue. I'll fill you guys in on that later.
I'm gonna gobble down as much Sex in the City 2 as I can possibly fit. I'm gonna gorge myself on this truffle butter.
Fucking hate that Lawrence of Arabia dude, man.
Yeah, he's got the douchiest entrance. He comes in, all the girls are wearing their millionth outfit while they're sitting in the desert and being waited upon by about 20 other human beings.
And I might add, he comes in on what absolutely should be a Jeep, but turns out to be a Mercedes-Benz.
I think it's a Land Rover in the desert. Mercedes is probably the predominant car sponsor, but I think Land Rover bought a little bit of money.
I'm so sure. I saw a Merc label on it. And Merc
You saw a Merc label in America at the end of the movie.
No, on his black thing. I'm going to try and pull it up while you do a little talking on how douchey his thing is.
Yeah, so the girls are all just hanging out in the desert being waited on hand and foot, and this guy shows up out of nowhere like an obnoxious asshole standing on the passenger seat of what is either a Land Rover or a Mercedes. He rocks right up to the 4 of them, leans out of the car and goes, I can't even remember what he says. Land Rover.
I just hit that first try, bro.
Dude,
I just picked a random moment in the timeline.
What's happened here is Tim has clicked directly onto the moment. And
you are correct, so well done. But a little bit well done to me as well.
I'm as proud of you as I can be.
That's insane, bro. I just fucking hit that shit.
So Danish architect comes in and says, blah, blah, blah.
He says, I'm sorry for interrupting your fun, ladies. I can't remember what he says after that.
He pretty much says, I'm sorry for interrupting your fun, ladies.
Oh, no, that's right. And then he grabs the attention of Carrie's manservante.
Oh, yeah.
And says, can you please tell the hotel that I'll be 1 or 2 hours late this evening? Who can be bothered with business meetings?
Boring business meetings.
When we have the sand dunes and sunset, and then fucks off. What a cock.
Yeah, he comes in like a total dingus and leaves like a total dingbat. He's a bloody ding-dong arsehole.
But Samantha's all about him.
Yeah.
He is the object of Samantha's affection.
This is the other thing which bothered you in the movie, is because they introduced the fact that there's several rugby teams staying at the hotel. Samantha obviously needs a love interest for the sake of the film.
Yes.
And you're like, nothing comes of this. And I described it as a red herring.
Yeah. The rugby teams being there, I don't think meets the criteria of a red herring.
No, it's misleading though, isn't it? Because you're like, oh, I bet you Samantha's going to get with one of those rugby players, and then it never happens. It's a classic red herring.
Well, a red herring for me is more like if there's a mystery. Like, okay, so someone's died, or that's probably too classic an example, but say
there's been a murder and you find someone who you think is the suspect, and then it turns out
yeah,
they're not the suspect.
exactly. That's like the quintessential red herring. But I was trying to think a little more outside the box. Say someone gave Miranda herpes, but it's not her husband, and then you think it's one of the rugby teams because there's a suggestion that they fucked in the hotel when we weren't watching, off camera. But then it turns out it was Big, and Carrie's husband cheated on her with Miranda.
I don't think that's a red herring. That's just like an insane, like
it's bad love triangle.
It's a big disaster for everyone involved.
Yeah,
but I think you're right. I mean, I was just trying to buff up my herring into a red herring just for you, and you just shot it down. You just no, that's not a red herring. Fuck this.
It's a dead bird. Does seeing the movie twice now make you want to see some of the TV show? Because I know that you haven't seen any of it, have you?
No. I'm just gonna.
You're happy? You're in a good place.
I know the TV show is meant to be good. I'm just gonna rock the house with this movie for a year. I mean, someday when I need to go through like therapy or something with the movie, I'll probably watch it then. But for now, I don't need any more Sex in the City in my life, even if it is the good one.
Yeah, I hear you. There's so much other stuff that you can do with your time that isn't watching this movie. You could bake 2 cakes in the time it takes to watch this movie. You could run, I reckon, 15k in the time that it takes to watch this movie.
To which I say this.
Yes.
What does it say about us? That those options are available, but we don't have the motivation or like perseverance or like we don't do that.
The wherewithal.
That's right. But instead, what we do have the commitment to do is this.
I don't have a rebuttal for that.
There's just a bad fact about us.
I guess it spawns from the fact that the reason we're locked into this is because someone thinks it's a funny thing to listen to. Who the fuck is going to listen to a podcast where 2 fuckwits go, we're going to run 15k and then do a podcast after it?
What?
Who wants to? I would punch myself in the face if that was an idea for a podcast that I came up with. I would hit myself in the face, Monty. Full fucking noise.
Do you know the thing is, I would definitely listen to it. Just you alone, your podcast.
Well, that's a different thing.
So
again.
every week, what happens is you say the thing that you could be doing instead of watching Sex and the City 2, and then you actually have to go out and do that thing, and then you record a podcast about that experience. That's interesting.
When would I do that in addition to Sex and the City 2?
I'm not suggesting you actually pursue the idea.
But I'm saying if I did. I'm definitely doing it, by the way. I'm definitely not.
I don't know. If you'd have to do it. So each week you'd have to watch this, and also for 2020, whatever minutes you'd have to go.
Okay, well that would surely end my relationship. Then it's my whole life's over at that point.
Halfway through this movie,
when would I get to the
halfway
bank?
Through this movie, Tim turned to me in earnest with a terrified, devilish grin on his face and said, "This movie's going to ruin our relationships, bro." And sort of,
I think it's true though.
We both started laughing maniacally because it was a terrifying truth.
Yeah. It's not just affecting us, Guy. That's what we got to remember about this little venture.
No, you got to shut out all that external stuff. It's you and me against the world, Tim. We got a whole.
This is drug addict talk. This is what you're talking like a drug addict.
I'm not a drug addict. I just need you right now. We just need a couple more hits. I'm jonesing for some Sex in the City too. We just got to get through this.
Did I give a Shining Light? Have I given a Shining Light?
Neither of
so
us
far?
have.
It's I said something. Oh, this doesn't really count as a Shining Light, but I'll say it anyway because I said it in the middle of the film. We were like talking about the colours that were on screen and shit, and it occurred to me that the person who colour graded this movie either did an amazing job or a fucking atrocious job, but I'm not sure which of those two things, because everything's just so big and looks like a toy, like a dollhouse.
Yeah.
So saturated and vivid.
Does anyone know if the movie, if the movie real? Is this real? No, if the hotel that the girls stay at when they first arrive in Abu Dhabi, is that a real hotel?
Yeah, and additional to that, does anyone care?
You're a real son of a bitch, Tim Fat. My shining light in response
you do have one.
Well,
you minx.
My shining light was the chemistry between Carrie and her two love interests,
Aiden and John.
Yeah, really good. There were moments of authenticity, I thought, and that probably comes from all the acting they've done against each other in the TV show. And it's nice to see a bit of quality slip through the net. Quality fish slipped through the net into this sludge.
Sneaked a base, slipped through the net, and scored a touchdown, as it were.
Hit a bloody slam dunk, and I'll tell you what, it
hit
knocked,
a slam dunk for par, bro.
Yeah, and it knocked the football right into the wickets and out of the park into the frying pan. This is Guy Montgomery saying, "Fuck this."
So my shining light was when Samantha gets kind of cornered by all the men, and her bag gets kind of snatched off her, it breaks, and it falls to the ground. All these condoms fall out when she's in the middle of a marketplace in downtown Abu Dhabi, and she just starts busting the fingers to everyone. She starts flipping the bird to all the dudes and saying, "Bite me" to everyone. And she waves the condoms at them like a crazy person, just saying, "I fuck.
I have sex." She humps the air.
Very aggressive. I like it. It's a power play. It appeals to me.
I reckon that is a... When she's pulling the fingers, I think it's funny. I just think pulling the fingers in general is funny, but everything preceding that, I'm just sort of like, this movie is having an absolute meltdown. Like, it's been like slowly melting, but now it's just like absolutely a flaming mess.
When you light a chip packet on fire, you know old potato chip packets you get in your school lunch, like those little snack size ones? Yeah, they'll light on fire. And for a while, they'll just be on fire very briefly, and then the plastic will start deforming. And before you know it, you've just got a puddle of
hot
disgusting
goo.
Yeah, that's this movie. It starts as a potato chip packet on fire briefly, and then it starts deforming.
A potato chip packet full of potato chips. Oh my, what's that? A delicious packet of potato chips? I'll have one.
Hey, quick shout out. We don't normally do this on the podcast, but quick shout out to Benny the Bull. Guy and I just stumbled across the 5-minute montage cut up. I say stumble across, I think it was on Reddit, of he's the mascot for the Chicago Bulls.
It's the 2013-2014 highlights. It's about a 5-minute video, and it is absolute fucking dynamite.
It is unreal. The talent.
It would be smarter for you to watch that video how many times, like, I don't know,
12 an hour, so 24 and 24 and another 4. No, 28
times consecutively. It would be a better idea to watch that than watch this.
It'd be easier.
Yeah.
It'd be easier, bro. I would enjoy it. I'd eat it up. 28 times. Num, num, num. Have at me.
Well, the good news is, Tim,
we're a week away.
50 more times.
Fuck my fuck.
Fuck my fuck.
That is... Oh. Alright, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for joining us.
Come on. Give me a high five.
I can barely muster it.
Another week of not watching this until we watch it.
Guy, I don't feel good about this one.
It's really... What are you going to do?
Don't know, man.
There's the situ. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. It's my birthday.
No, it's not, and it's not the rule.
Do you know what line I cracked up at the other day? Which is such a ludicrous line. And Chris Klein sells it really well. It's an American Pie when he's trying to get a blowjob from Mina Savari, and he says, "Suck me, beautiful." That is insane. Chris Klein, you are out of your goddamn mind.
And on that delightful and sexually charged note, we'll catch you next week, folks. Think of us often.
It's the worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time.